What's up guys, Frozen Boys coming at you today, Wardog here, and today we're going to be doing a bike review and me explaining why I started on a 600cc sport bike. So I started with the 600cc sport bike because I'm not a little bitch and I didn't want to start with a 200cc, a 250 or whatever, a beginner's bike, because you always outgrow those, you know, you go for it like 3 months, that's it, and then you'll eventually go up to a higher bike. The R6, this is a 2016 R6, and it's a really good beginner sport bike because if you keep it below 9,000 RPMs, then it acts like a beginner's bike. It doesn't start pulling until after 9,000, and even when it starts pulling, it's really not too much to handle. So the R6 is one of the most popular sport bikes out there. The R6, it has when you buy it from the dealership, it has a 20-year engine warranty that comes through Yamaha. So that's your engine that's going to be good for a really long time. It also, they don't have a lot of oil leaks. Mine, I've only done like 700 miles on the bike, but I've had no problems with this bike so far. So this is the 2016 model, and prior to this, I think it's 2008 to 2016. It's the same model as the bike. It's the same design. The 2017 model just came out, and when I was looking at the bikes, I was debating whether or not to get the 2017 or 2016. But honestly, I think the design of the 2016 or 2008 to 2016 model is the best one. It just kind of looks mean. Like it kind of looks like a bug. It's just like ready to fly, and this thing does fly. So the first thing I noticed about this bike when I rode it was it's very smooth. I've ridden other bikes. This is my first bike that I've owned, but I've ridden dirt bikes and I've also ridden Max's bike too. And the engine braking is just like ridiculous on other bikes. This one, it seems like it almost has no engine braking. It'll slow down, but it's not jerky. The shifting on this one also is really smooth. I have no problems going up in shifting. Everything's really smooth. It doesn't slip neutral very often. It really likes to be rev matched when it goes downshifting, and overall it's just a really easy bike to maneuver. Corners are a breeze. It's a pretty good bike. So another thing I like about the design of the R6 is the color. This one comes in gray and it also comes in blue, and I saw the gray one. Holy shit, dude.
Where are you going?
Frozen Boys.
The design is actually really nice. I like it a lot, and one of the main things I like about this bike is the color. Yamaha has like the perfect blue. I don't know what they do, but the coat is just like really prime. It's kind of dirty right now, so it doesn't give us all its justice, but the color is really nice, and it's just a really popular bike, and that also makes it good for buying parts. If you want to mod out your bike, then it's one of the bikes that is most easily reddable to mod out because it's just so popular. By the way, reddable is a new word for readily available. So one of the first things I noticed about this bike was the headlights. They're super bright, and before this, I drove a Dodge Dakota, and their headlights are shit. So when it's at night, like I can't see anything, and I have to wear glasses when I drive. And this actually makes it a lot easier. So I don't have to wear glasses. Obviously that's a good thing because nobody wants to wear glasses when they ride a bike. Okay, so now on to cons. The biggest con about this bike, and it's not the performance, it's not nothing like that, but it's that you have to mod it. So if you want to come over here, we did a number of mods to these bikes. The first one is the smoke windscreen. It used to have just a stock like clear windscreen. I put some stickers on there too. They used to have longer levers. They were just like, you know, stock silver levers, and we put these shorties on. And when I bought them off Amazon, I was expecting them to be like darker in color, but they turned out turquoise, and they grew on me. Like I think it actually looks pretty good. Like the juxtaposition between the blue Yamaha and like the turquoise. One of the worst things about like a stock bike is the giant fender that comes out. And so we got a fender illuminator kit, and it used to just come out like right here, and this kind of like tucks it back up. I'm sure you're familiar with those. The only problem I see with that is when you have two people on, the shock is actually kind of like loose, and so when you have two people on it, it bends the back down, and the license plate kind of hits the, I don't know if it hits the wheel or hits right here, but it kind of like pushes the license plate back up, which is kind of annoying, but you can still read it from the back. And so another mod we did was I was gonna get integrated turn signals, but I ended up going with these LED strips. And if you want to come look over here, I mean, they look pretty cool. They are also turn signals, so I mean, they flash on both sides. They used to have like big mirrors that come on stock, so we took those off and I just put one bar end mirror on this side. I never use that anyway, just because every time you ride, you just look behind you. Also, we took off the big turn signals on the front and put these ones. They're protons. They're actually really bright, and it just looks more flush. It looks sleek. I think it makes it not look like a jack-o'-lantern. In the video prior to this, when I bought my bike, we negotiated to get the stock removed and then put this Yosh exhaust on, and it sounds a lot better. The bike's pretty loud as is. And so eventually we're gonna delete the cat and it's just gonna be louder. So when I was looking at bikes, I sat on all the 600s, and I'd say the Gixxer was the most comfortable out of all of them, but then again, it doesn't look the best. This one, it's not that comfortable. That's the biggest that's one of the biggest cons I think about this bike. And the first week I rode it, you're kind of like bent over. It's high off the ground. It has the highest seat height out of all the 600 Japanese sport bikes, and so it kind of makes it hard to, you know, be comfortable on the bike. So since this is the tallest sport bike of Japanese sport bikes, it kind of makes it hard to touch the ground. I'm 5'10", and like I'm still tiptoeing this bike. All the other ones, they're not too much lower. I think max is like 3 inches lower, but that 3 inches makes a big difference. So compared to all the other Japanese sport bikes, this is the heaviest aside from the Kawasaki ZX6. That one has a bigger engine, so it's gonna be heavier, but this one is 417 pounds wet, and compared to the other ones,
like my bitch is 417 pounds wet, baby. Yee!
We did an oil change at 600 miles, and another problem that we came into was the oil filter. It doesn't come with a screw off. They actually make like a special oil filter wrench that you're supposed to buy so you can twist it off, but we didn't want to buy that. So we literally drilled holes into the oil filter and got vice grips, and we just twisted that bitch out. And I mean, it worked, but I feel like that's something that they could improve. The last problem that I've come into with this bike was you don't expect a lot of space to store stuff in your bike, but I've seen that like in the back where you got that back compartment underneath the seat, it's got almost no space. You have tools in there, like a little tool pouch, but that's about it that you can fit in there. You can't fit gloves, like gloves won't fit in there, especially hard knuckles. It's very small in this one. I'm not sure about the other sport bikes, but that's something to consider if you're gonna buy an R6. The last con about this bike is it's fast as shit, so it's really hard to go the speed limit. I guess that's it for the video, and if you have any comments or questions, put them in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next video.
Doses.